Hey, how's it going, everybody? There's going to be another unboxing video, but it's going to be a little bit different from some of the ones you've seen me do in the past. And I say it's going to be different because, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here on the table. Some trail cams and some GoPros, some DJI products, and a handful of other things from Sony, Rilo, Yocam, Brno. So everybody's done unboxings on these. You've already probably seen them a million times, so I'm not going to go too in depth on quality and features and things like that. My main purpose of this video is basically to kind of tell you how my venture started into action cameras, drones, and the likes thereof. Now I'm shooting on obviously DSLRs and a mirrorless. I've got Canon 70D, M50, T3i, a Mark, and a handful of other cameras, but that's not the cameras we'll be talking about today. What I'm going to be talking about is all this stuff here. And I'm not going to go really in depth. I'm just going to kind of go through, my history of how I got into all these cameras and how I'm using them today. Then I'm going to do the unboxing on this. So here we go. Oh, actually, before I do the unboxing, this is also because I have a series of videos that I'm going to be working on, and they'll be coming out, after these. And it's going to be a lot of different ways, like different ways you can mount action cameras, different ways you can get angles and videos with your drones, different ways that you can use the pocket Osmo and the mobile Osmo. So, trying to get unique angles. There's a lot of people using these things, but they're not using them to the full capability. So I'm hoping that with the videos that I put together that you guys will appreciate them, and maybe it'll spark some new ideas for you to do something different from what you have been doing in your previous videos. So for me, the very first action camera I ever purchased, and this thing's getting a little icky now, it's kind of gummy, but this is the original GoPro, the Hero 1. Not the current remake of the Hero 1 that they have now, but this is like the original Hero 1. So this is it without the screen. And then when you put the screen on, you can see how big this is compared to the current drone. So this is my second one, was the GoPro Hero 4 Black. It also has a screen on it and kind of similar in size. Actually, this one with the screen is about the same size as the original Hero without the screen. And that kind of seemed to be the idea moving forward. Every kind of couple series they move forward. What I got after the Hero 4 Black was the Hero 5 Black, and you can see the screen's built in on this one. It's no longer required to be a detachable screen, where with this Hero 4 it is. Take that off, and these two guys are literally about the same size, and without the screen. So yeah, so GoPros keep getting smaller and smaller and more technical and have a lot more capabilities. And the Hero, I didn't get the Hero 6, skipped up to the Hero 7. I already know that the Hero 7, the Hero 6, and the Hero 5 are all the same size. They all utilize the same batteries, which is something I absolutely love, because I've got 4 or 5 batteries for this guy, like 6 or 8 batteries for this one, 6 or 8 for this one, and I did not want to have to purchase a whole nother set of batteries for this one. So I'm glad that I'll be able to utilize those batteries from the 5 along with this. Now in between all these, after I got this, I wanted to get something that was a little bit better, and I didn't jump to the Hero 2 or the Hero 3. I actually went with this Sony over here. Now I'm actually having to put some tape on this one to keep it from falling over because it's curved on the bottom. It has a clear housing just like the GoPros do, to protect it, make it more durable, make it waterproof, etc. But the quality on this was just not quite on par with the GoPros, which is why from here I ended up going back to more GoPros. Now later on down the line, I did pick up a more advanced Sony, but before I get into that Sony, let me tell you why I ended up getting that Sony. I ended up getting that Sony because I wanted to start doing some time-lapse videos. And before time-lapse were as common or as easy to accomplish as they are today, you had to either have more advanced cameras or special software And this is really, they call this a work camera. It's called a Breno. And this was kind of constructed for job sites. So it could take 1 picture per second and compile it into a video, and people could, use it as a security cam or maybe to manage their employees and so forth. But I actually like the results. I did some projects here at my house and it was cool to get a time lapse of it. The problem was it was only in 720. Then I wanted something in higher resolution. So that got me inspired to do some time lapse. And then that's when I went from that one to the Sony X3000, shoots in 4K and also does time lapse. But the time lapse on this obviously is far greater than the time lapse here. So much better quality. Love this thing. It's compact. You can hook a mic to it. You can, there's plenty of mounting brackets, just like with the GoPro stuff. Excellent quality, great camera. Really love this. I think this one's actually very underrated when it comes to the action camera series. In between there somewhere, I don't really remember when, I decided to try to help somebody out on a Kickstarter, and I got these 2 Yo cams. They're fully submergible, waterproof, which again, at the time when these came out, most everything that was waterproof had to go into a plastic housing. These did not. They went up to 2.7. They didn't go 4K. They were 2.7. However, the quality of these, this thing won't even stay on, is just really not that great. And then now the video files that they save in aren't even supported by most things. So those unfortunately are garbage for me. I'm probably going to end up using those in the GoPro trade up and probably pick up a few more Hero 7s just so I can have more of them for the projects that I'm about to be working on. From there, I believe I got the Mavic Pro first. This was my first drone. I had watched the Phantoms for many years, was really interested in the Phantoms, wanted to get one, but I wasn't crazy about the idea of having to attach a GoPro to the Phantoms. So yeah, I really just wanted to have a drone that had everything, and right about the time that I was making that decision is when the Mavic Pro came out. I love this thing, it's amazing. I wish I could use it more. I just got to make the time to do it. But for everything I've used it for so far, it's an amazing drone. Shortly after, a few months after purchasing this one, the Mavic Air came out. Now, not that I needed to get another drone, but what I loved about the Mavic Air versus the Mavic drone, obviously the most common thing that everybody will tell you is the size. I mean, this thing is super compact. If you're going on a trip and you want to have it with you, it's super small. At the time that this one came out too, something else that sold me was a lot of the automatic features for some of the, the little silly shots, where it does the 360s and the tiny planet and all that stuff. I know some of that stuff gets overplayed, but I actually kind of like it on certain things. It can make for some unique shots. So both drones, amazing, love them. Before I get to the other DJI products that I got to, that I have, the somewhere in between there, I believe between the 2 drones is when I decided to get the Rilo. Now the Rilo 360, what sold me on this before the Insta 360s and some of the other ones was I like the size of it, I like the shape of it, but more than anything what I liked about it is you didn't have to attach it to a cell phone. So the Insta 360 when it came out and a handful of the other ones, they all had to be attached to an iPhone. I'm an Android person, I don't carry an iPhone. I use iPads with my drones, I use iPads with some of my other stuff, but my phone is an Android. So this can do Android or iPhone. When you go to do the editing, even though I'm an Android person, I actually got the iPhone version of this so that I could edit on my iPads on a larger screen on the iPad Pro versus a smaller Android screen. For the most part, this thing's really awesome. Before the Hero 7 came out and before Insta 360 stepped its game up, this camera was the most stable out of all the action cameras I had. However, the resolution was not quite on par. So if you go back and check out one of my older videos where I went to a skate park, I'll link it up above. It has some side-by-side comparisons of this with the Hero 5. and you can see a significant difference in the color comparison on them. I haven't tried out some of the newer features they added to this a couple months ago just because I haven't had the chance to. I do want to try it out, but I think some of those same features are now available in the Hero 7. So yeah, still a cool camera. I love that you can get some really unique shots with this. If you have the money to spend on one though, I would probably skip the Rilo at this point and go with the newest Insta360 because it's come a long way since this came out. I will probably be picking up an Insta360 myself. So moving forward after that, somewhere along the line, I can't remember exactly when, but I picked up this to use with my cell phone. This is the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. I didn't get the first variation of it. Got this one, and I'll be honest, I really don't use this thing that much. It's cool in theory if you don't already have a lot of these other cameras available to you, or if you don't already have the larger cameras, you know, to shoot with, and all you're working with is a cell phone and you want steady footage. This is cool. I mean, like, yeah, there's gonna be some times I can find to use this thing, but not as often as you would think. And now with the Osmo Pocket that just came out, you really don't need this thing at all. I don't really see these hanging around much longer for mobile phones anyways. All right, so real quickly, I think my cameras are both about to, or all three are about to stop. So I'm gonna take a quick break, reset those, and be right back. Couple other things though in regards to taking photos and things, and I was just talking about cell phones, right? I had the Samsung S3, I think, the Note 4, and when it was time for me to upgrade from my Note 4, that was the same time that Samsung was having all the issues with the phones that were catching fire. I really wanted to get a Samsung, but I couldn't wait it out anymore because the one I currently had kept crashing, and I desperately needed a phone. I was about to go on a cruise and wanted something good, and the Pixel 1 had just come out, and I read up a lot about it, and I wasn't sure because I was like, I wasn't too impressed with some of the previous Google products. They always seemed to fall short. When they did the Nexus line, they just, you know, they build up on something and then they just kind of drop it. They don't have the consistency and the follow through. But I went ahead and took the venture and got the Pixel 1. This is now the Pixel 2. I haven't jumped to the Pixel 3, don't really feel the need to. But the reason I'm mentioning this is even though I got the Pixel 2, when they rolled out Night Sight and some of the other features for the Pixel 3, I love that it was a firmware update that was able to go roll out to both my Pixel 2 as well as my Pixel 1. I still use that. And I can do Night Sight, and these take amazing photos in Night Sight. I really can't tell you how awesome it is that a cell phone can take photos almost as good or better than a lot of these things here. So just had to tell you guys about that real quick. And also I forgot about these. So these are trail cams. Typically what these would be used for are hunters. And people will put them out to see what area that deer are coming through a lot or whatever it is that they're tracking, and they try to find out where the animals are coming through the most. Some people just use them because they might, you know, like to check out animals. There's a guy that's got a really cool channel on YouTube. If I can remember what it is, maybe I'll link it below in the description. But all he does is set up these trail cams primarily all over Florida, and he just captures all these really amazing shots of all these unique animals, and it's really cool, bears and alligators and all kinds of crazy stuff. But why I've got these is one of my side projects, one of my side ventures. I haven't spoken too much about it because me and the team have been trying to build up a library of videos before we start releasing them on YouTube. So I will also link that below or maybe above. Ghost Texas. So if you aren't already following Ghost Texas, go follow Ghost Texas. And we are doing paranormal investigations, and that is the reason that I have these, because they shoot infrared. It's gotten a little bit more difficult to find cameras that do infrared at an affordable price. So everything I've looked at that does infrared is quite pricey. and it's not even that, excuse me. Everything that I've looked at that does infrared is quite pricey, and the quality is great, of course, but it's not enough for me to justify spending that kind of money simply for the infrared. These are not that pricey. They're not cheap. I want to say I paid $150 a piece for these, give or take, but they're not like a couple hundred, they're not like $500 or $1,000. And we wanted something that could do infrared, capture audio. And what I really like about these is that they are fully weatherproof, waterproof. So if I do need to use them for other things, I can. I believe what I have it set to right now is it records in 2-minute intervals, if I'm not mistaken, when it detects motion. And it's also really cool is that it has a built-in temperature gauge. So when it's shooting the video in the bottom, you'll have like a time and date stamp, kind of like you do on dash cams. Speaking of dash cams, I don't have those here, but the videos that I'm going to be doing where I'm talking about utilizing all of these guys to do some really amazing shots, I'm going to have my dash cams on some of that stuff too, to show you some ways that you can utilize them to get cool shots. But yeah, so haven't used these a whole lot yet, primarily for Ghost Texas. Interestingly enough, some of the cool shots that we have captured so far, or more so the unexplainable audio that we've caught, has come from these, and I believe the Hero 5. So yeah, these are really cool cameras. I'm gonna include them in the series of videos I do that have a bunch of ways that you can utilize them. So slightly different from action cameras, obviously, but kind of in the same realm depending on how you decide to use them. So if you guys have questions on any of this stuff, ask me. I will not lie, I do not always have the answers, but I will try my best to answer your questions, depending on how specific they are and whatnot. And if I can't give you the answer, then I might redirect you to a YouTuber that I follow that does have the answer. So I won't always claim to have the answers. If you have any of this stuff, let me know what you think about it. Tell me like how you're utilizing these cameras, what your main purpose of them was. Was it for fun? Are you avidly using them for action sports, hunting, just driving like a dash cam? Is it just for fun? Is it something to capture video of your family and friends? Let me know. So, but yeah, so let's go ahead and get these things unboxed. I've been anxious. I've had both of these sitting in my office here like 2 months. I don't even know. I've been wanting to shoot this video for a while, and I've just been way too busy to do it. So I'm gonna move this one out of the way since it's a little bit taller. Maybe I'll lay this down here at the front. All right. I'm gonna start with the Osmo because I did already remove the standard packaging from it to just make it easier for this unboxing. Again, there's a million unboxing videos for this. You guys have probably already watched them, but this is my first look at this in hand. So, wow. So like, it's crazy because, like I just said, I've seen a lot of these videos and I know that everybody says how small this thing is, but you don't realize how small it is till you hold it. Now this was one of those, sorry guys, Yoki, I'm sorry, but this was just like kind of a failed attempt at a good idea because of the size. Look at this. This shoots 4K and it's got a gimbal stabilizer and it's got a screen, and it's essentially the same size as this thing, but with just the extension for the gimbal. Now, I've also seen some videos that have already come out that with the new mic extension, so I plan on getting the mic extension for this. I love that some of the new firmware updates that you don't necessarily even have to connect this to a phone at all if you don't want to. You can just completely use this. So this is what the Osmo Pocket looks like. And I'm assuming this is the case that you can keep it in. There's some of the wires, manual. What I want to see is how well this guy fits in here and how it fits in here. think I may have it backwards. Do you flip this around to protect the screen? I guess not. Maybe you put this face down. There we go. Okay, cool. So even in the case, this is like super compact. I would feel safe, you know, like carrying this around and not having to necessarily worry that it's going to get damaged. I know I've already seen a lot of comparison videos too of the stabilization of the two of these, and they're pretty much on par, like right with each other. I think what really varies the most in these is how you utilize them. That one thing I've already feel like myself and was kind of leery of even purchasing this Osmo is mounting brackets, and the fact that the shape of it is not going to be able to do a lot of stuff that a GoPro can do. So I think that, you know, once I start using them, I really have a better idea of what the Osmo is capable of. But I really think that this kind of does something different from the GoPro. Like you're gonna be able to do some really cool stuff with this that the GoPro can't do, and vice versa. So I think they complement each other rather than act as competitors, even though that's what they're trying to do. So let me put this stuff back in here real quick. We'll keep the Osmo out now that we officially have it unboxed. All right, so we got the new Osmo there. All right, this one might take me a second longer because I did not pre-open it, and GoPro loves to make these boxes impossible to get into. I may end up fast forwarding this so that it doesn't take forever. Question for you guys too. Do you guys save these plastic containers in the base? Because I do. I have them for all my GoPros. I actually feel like they come in really handy to store stuff in. That was actually easier to unbox than previous models. I'm gonna just set this and actually this off to the side because they're just bulky. They are proud of this Hyper Smooth, man. This little emblem in here is metal. All right. So, what's in the box? What's in the box? Just your basic GoPro stuff. We have a battery. Like I said, this is the same battery that you use in the Hero 5, which I love because I already have. Already have quite a few of those batteries. Kind of your typical mounting bracket. Let me ask also, does anybody use this thing with the self-adhesive and the curved? I mean, I know they're meant for like a helmet or whatever. I have a box full of these things. I never use them. I don't trust the self-adhesive, and I haven't found anything yet that I want to put this on permanently. This looks about the same as the Hero. And then even same thing with the flat one. I don't know. I have yet to ever use these on anything. I've got a lot of them. All right, so this is the actual camera. I will get it detached from the cardboard later, but for now, let's at least get it off of here. Bam. So, I mean, just based on visuals, it looks exactly the same as the Hero 5, pretty much. I know that they have an improved microphone in this one. It's still not the best microphone from what I understand, but it's a step up from the Hero 5 and the Hero 6. And I keep referring to the 5 because I don't have the 6. They put the 7 on the side, so they're actually making, you know, it noticeable which one you're carrying now. So yeah, so we'll be adding that to the collection. I wonder if it'll power on. I wonder if this battery's already charged. Another question for you guys. So I've taken this one in the ocean a few times. I made sure to wash it thoroughly when I got it out. And ever since then, this bottom door is really, really difficult to open. Oh, I just turned it on. I was trying to turn it on. But yeah, this is really difficult sometimes for me to open, and I don't know if it's because of what happened when I took it in the ocean, the salt or the sand, I don't really know, but it kind of annoys me. This won't turn off. All right. Yeah, let's just see real quick if this will power on. I don't know if the battery came pre-charged. And they got this little screen on the back here. I guess it's a screen protector. It's like a picture of a turtle. Peel that off of there. Yeah, that screen essentially looks identical to the Hero 5. Oh, they sent it charged. I'm sure there's gonna be firmware updates and all kinds of stuff I have to do for all of this, for both of these. Oh, I don't feel like setting this whole thing up right now. So, all right, guys. Well, this video ran a lot longer than I anticipated. I wasn't trying to make a super long video. I was actually trying to make a quick video. But yeah, that never happened. So, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of videos coming out following this one with a lot of how-tos and tips on how to mount these, different mounting brackets. I'll probably have piles of different brackets and things that I've used. Maybe even possibly go into some of the bags that I've purchased for some of this stuff that's very specific to the items. Yeah, and I'm pretty much rambling at this point. So if you guys have any questions, ask me below. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Please hit the little bell icon so you'll get the notifications. And if you like this video, if you found it useful in any way, shape, or form, give it a thumbs up. It does actually help. And yeah, that's it. So till next time, peace out. Don't forget to check out Ghost Texas and the links below for some of the other things that I mentioned. Later.